Hello, ladies. How y'all doing today?
Lovely.
Hello, I'm well.
We have the world's famous Miss Jack. That's not a drink. I hope not.
Hey. Depends on who you ask.
Yeah. And we also have the world's famous Miss Mobby. Is that an island like Gilligan's Island? It sounds kind of, romantic. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I like that name right there. We're going to be talking about colorism in the Black community. When I seen you guys' podcast and show, it kind of hit home. I said, wow, I can't believe this is still going on in 2022. And I said, I got to contact you to try to get this thing recorded to spread their awareness
Most
in our
definitely.
community about this. Because I seen, what y'all were saying, and I just couldn't believe it, Welcome to the Let's Talk Under the Tree podcast, and I'm glad that y'all are here. And it's a shame
Well,
that.
thank you for having us.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're going to take a 33-second pause. One time for your mind, two times for your soul. Welcome to the Let's Talk Under the Tree podcast with Miss Jack and Miss, I hope I say it, Bobby.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. All right. See you in 33 seconds.
Kingpin Music.
Okay, we're back. I'm going to dive straight into it because I watched the interview. I'm going to go with Ms. Bobby first. Unless I'm wrong, you said you have some kids from your boyfriend or baby daddy, whatever you call it. He's dark skinned. Did he say some comments or kind of refrain from seeing his kids because of their complexion? I go straight to the jugular because I didn't like that comment.
Right. No, I understand. Yeah. So I have one child, right, and her dad is unfortunately he's a colorist. He's big on color. He's dark, very dark complected. But when I had my daughter, for whatever reason, he thought she was going to be lighter because my sister, her kids look biracial. So I guess he just thought that she was going to be the same. And when she wasn't, like, he doesn't deal with her, doesn't speak to her, doesn't talk to her. As a matter of fact, if he contacts me about her, it's always something negative. Like he's called her everything under the sun. And I know one of the comments that he made to me one day was, he said that he never wanted dark-skinned kids. And of course that hurt me because I was like, wait, but you're dark and I'm dark. So I was like, I don't understand. What did you think we were going to get? Like, did you think we were going to get something looking right? But and the crazy part is that, like, his other children that he has, that's not with me, but his other children that he has, like, he glorifies them on Facebook all day long. Like he has a daughter that looks identical to my daughter. Like the only difference is the skin complexion. They look exactly like him. And he glorifies her. Oh, look at her Native American skin and her Native American curly hair. And he calls her a red bone, but she's not light. She's lighter than my daughter, but she's not like really, really light. So yeah, he doesn't like her. Like it's a sad situation because I feel like a lot of his comes from the way he's always been treated because he's dark. So he kind of just puts it out on other people, her in particular, and he just has a really big issue with it.
How old is your daughter?
She's 10. She'll be 11 in March.
But tell your daughter when she gets older, I guess you got to, still keep that line of respect. But when she gets older, tell her to ask him this right here.
So you old people,
Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. But tell her to ask him this right here.
Who is you?
Right. That's my daughter. But
oh,
who is you? I mean, who is he supposed to be?
right.
Yeah,
And
she luckily, I thank God for it, but she's very comfortable in her skin. She's perfectly okay with being dark. Like that was something, I know you said you watched the interview that I was really,
yes.
I prayed about because I was like, well, I know how the world is. And I just didn't want her to have to go through those things. But yeah, she's really comfortable with it. She's never asked why he doesn't even talk to her. Like she's cool. She's like, okay, whatever.
A lot of A lot of my friends, they love a dark woman. They almost like worship y'all. They love it.
But that's still that's still a thing though. Even with men, you have light skin season or dark skin season.
Yeah.
That's still a thing. And even my boyfriend, I would say he's more like a caramel complexion and whatnot. His thing is he loves dark skinned women. So
Right.
that's what kind of, drew him to me.
Right.
And I've got 2 kids. Their dad is more of a caramel kind of complexion and whatnot. And I actually wanted one of them to be chocolate like me. Like my first one was light skin, and I was like, okay, my baby girl, she's gonna be chocolate, and she's not. so, so I'm like, where's my my mini me?
You're right.
Yeah, that's still a thing to even now in 2022. You got your light skin season, your dark skin season.
I'm dark. I
So
just
which
have
I've never
all these
understood that.
lights on me. Don't let these lights fool you. But I'm gonna do a segment that's called right now. Let's see what the people say about the in-season thing. We're gonna see. We have some pre-recorded video, about 60 seconds on one of them. Since you say the thing that's in season, let's see what these light-skinned chicks got to say.
Oh,
Being a light-skinned woman, one of the things that I've had to experience is being told that I thought that I was better than someone, or because of my skin color, or that I was out of season, and that, light-skinned women come in and out of season, or I thought I was too pretty to work, or I just thought I was just too pretty, which is because of my skin color. It makes no sense to me. I always thought that women of color are beautiful. We're all beautiful and fearfully made. We all have something great to offer. And as far as skin color, that shouldn't divide us, because women together are very powerful. We are some strong people. So we should come together and not be so divided because of skin color, because that's something that we were taught during slave times, because the lighter skin tone women were in the house and the darker women were in the fields. So it's crazy for us to keep doing this same type of mentality this age and time.
All right, there you go. I'm going to change the narrative slightly. Seems like black people, we're really big on skin color and your last names and bloodlines. As far as, I'm just going to throw some names out there: Smith, Johnson, another one, Jones. And I was watching the show. What's that show on PBS? Tracking your ancestry. Henry Gates. What's his name?
yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Right. And when he broke it down to this one dude, he said, "How do you like the fact that you have the last name of a white man?" and the name you have, you don't have no trace of that bloodline in you at all. Period.
Right.
And he was pretty startled on that. And it goes back to the skin color, back to slavery. I don't know why we are like this with this skin color, and it is a shame. We come in all shapes and sizes and tones,
But it's ingrained in us. I mean, even to your hair texture, it really is ingrained in us. And like I said, I can remember, being in elementary school, and I would have crushes on, these boys and whatnot. And then all of a sudden they gravitated towards the lighter skin complexion girls. I was the friend of the girl that the guys were interested in. It's like, I didn't actually, I would say, blossom, so to speak, until I'd say maybe in the middle school, early high school. That's when boys started showing me attention. But before that,
I never got the attention at all. When I tell you, I didn't date all through school, high school. I went to both of my proms by myself. Homecoming, my brother escorted me down homecoming court. I never, I was the girl, as a matter of fact, since middle school, that they would make a bet to see if I came with somebody or if somebody asked me out.
Wow.
If they didn't ask me out, then of course, whoever won the bet won the money. And I remember my senior year, there was 2 guys, both of them were on the football team. And one of them I was actually friends with, so I thought. And they were pretty much trying to play a really big trick on me, trying to see who I would let come to my house or whatever. And I wasn't that type of person anyway. But, they kept trying to see which one could actually come to my house because they were going to record it or whatever. And one of their friends he texted me and he told me what was going on. And he was like, hey, they're just trying to play a joke. And I let it go for like 2 months. I was like, I'm just going to play right along with them. And then I had both of them show up at the house and I was like, yeah, you're stupid. And it was like, yeah, I was the biggest. I was always the biggest joke. I remember in high school, I had a crush on a guy and I didn't think anything of it. He was of lighter skin. And me and him, his cousin were really good friends. And he went back and told his cousin's dad that he would never date me because I was too fat and that I was way too dark. And I was only like a size 5 or a 5'6".
You were tiny.
Yeah. And he was just like, oh, she's too fat. She's got, because I didn't have upper body. I just had like a little bit of hips or whatever. And he was just like, oh, she's too fat and she's way too dark. She'd make me look bad. And I was like, huh, man, like it kind of hurt my feelings because I was like, I'm not fat. I wasn't even worried about the complexion part. I was just like, I'm not fat. But then to hear somebody say, oh, well, you're too dark. And I'm like, all my life, I've always been called that burnt biscuit. I've always been called the crazy. Like, I just didn't understand it. Or when people would argue with me, the first thing they would say is your dark skinned self. And I'm like, I know I'm dark. I'm fully aware of that, so it's crazy.
Right.
That it's still continuing on.
Yeah. For a man with me, I'm 6'3", and I get called, in a joking way. That goes with the territory for a man, jokingly, not in school or nothing. Bring your black ass here. Your parents might say something like that, but that's not like demeaning me or nothing like that. It's like jokingly. That just goes with the territory. Bring your black ass here, or be quiet with your black ass. And not, like a little Southern slang. But I have another video, and I'm sure you guys have went through this. You kind of said that, Ms. Mobby, a little bit about getting teased. When this person, they shot the little comment right here, she had to do 2 takes because she started crying on the first one. Yes. So check it out. Let's see what the people say.
Good afternoon. This is a video in regards to colorism in the Afro-American community. I remember growing up, starting in the 6th grade, I had lots of friends. A good bit of them were light-skinned girls. And when they started befriending other light-skinned girls, that's when the name calling started. I remember the very first name I was called was Blackie. And I was like, yeah, because I'm dark. And they were like, yeah, don't touch us because your color is going to rub us on us. We don't want to be as dark as you are. And then the names increased to being called Tar Baby, Black Crust. I would be called Midnight. Oh, she can only come out in the daytime because she can't be seen at night. And then in the 7th grade, it kind of still continued. Some with the same girls, some with newer girls that I didn't know. The names increased to, oh, she's blue black, or she's purple. Stare at her hard because she need to stop blinking so we can see her white eyes, because she is so dark. She's a tar baby. Oh, she's the color of a gorilla. Her skin is so dark. She's a black monkey. And in the 8th grade, I started gearing to meeting newer people that were more my shade. And that's when I started appreciating the color of my skin, because then I had protection. Even though when all of us got together, they still called us names. But I felt protected because I was with other young ladies that was my complexion. So even though they still called us Tar Baby, Blue Lagoon, Black Creature from the Black Lagoon, but I felt protected because I was surrounded by other girls that were my complexion. And once I hit high school, this kind of stopped, so to speak, because there were a lot more dark-skinned girls than there was light skin. So that kind of stopped.
Wow. Have you ladies ever experienced anything like this going through school?
Oh yeah, I mean, to this day, I still get the comments about, oh, wait a minute, when she closed her eyes, you can't see her.
Come on now.
I was just about to say that. People tell me that all the time. They're like, are you seeing, like, are your eyes open? One, my eyes are slanted. So I'm like, it wouldn't have mattered whether I was light or dark. You still can't tell whether my eyes are open because my eyes are slanted. I can't see out of them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm like, what does that mean? But yeah, that's one of the ones I still get. I always get, for whatever reason, people will swear that I can't be fully black because I have long hair. Or actually went on a date and the guy he did this whole thing of, oh, you're so pretty. Like he was acting really excited because I was pretty and I didn't understand why. I'm like, well, isn't that why you asked me out? You know, I was like, I'm confused. what are we doing here? And he was just like, you're just so pretty to be dark skinned. And I was like, wait a minute. I would not have been on this date if I knew this. Right. And so I was like, what does that mean? Like, help me understand what you mean. And his comment was that dark skinned women have to do so much more than what light complected women do. He's like, you guys have to wear the extra makeup to be pretty and you have to add extensions. And I was like, none of this is extensions. This is all my hair. I was like, sir, no, my hair is all the way down my back. Like, yes, this is me. I was like, no, I don't have to be light to do this. I was like, I've seen light complected people that have no edges and everything else. So I was like, what does that mean? So yeah, I still hear, unfortunately, I still hear it.
But I can imagine, I can remember when I was younger, you know, looking at the light-skinned girls, and a lot of them did have hair down their back. And I can remember being jealous because one, seemed like the boys liked them the most. And two, they had the hair that was going down their back. My hair was was more kinky textured, you know?
Right.
So it was like, I couldn't compete with that. And on top of that, I was raised in the military. So I grew up around diverse cultures my entire life.
Same.
And a lot of times I'm the minority, you know, because I'm around Islanders and, you know, and Asian Pacific, you know, so I'm the minority in that instance and whatnot. So they're gravitating towards them. And it's like, where do I fit in?
Right.
You know, because I didn't actually live into what I would say like your typical public school till I was like 12 or whatnot. And that was the first time that we did not live on a military base. And that was a culture shock for me.
Same.
So I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? But yeah, so yeah, I still get that, you know, to this day, those type of comments.
Wow. Yeah. How does the workplace treat y'all?
I don't have an issue with the workplace. I actually worked for the police department for 5.5 years before I just switched over to my new job. I was, of course, the only minority on my shift. Now, there were other Black females on other shifts, and they didn't treat me bad. There was just one in particular, which she was dark as well, but she would talk about dark complected women in a negative like light. And I was like, I can't be like, I didn't like being around her when I came to work because she would always like give me a compliment, but almost take it back. Like if I wore my hair straight, and she's like, oh, you just have the prettiest, longest hair or whatever. I'm sure you have Indian and you are white. And I'm like, why can't I just be Black? I'm like, why can't I just be Black? I don't understand. Or, you know, I would do something, or she would always say, oh, well, that's that white in you, or that's your Native American. And I'm like, why can I not be Black? Or she would do this thing where her hair was really, really short. And her thing was always, well, you know, dark-skinned women, we don't have an option of having the good hair or whatever. That's why she would keep her hair cut. And I was like, why is it that you always say this about a dark complected person, but I don't ever hear you say this about anybody light or biracial? Mm-hmm. You constantly say it about someone that's dark. And she was like, oh, well, you just know how it is. No, I don't know how it is in our culture. You're part of the problem because you continue to say stuff like this. And then, of course, we were the minorities. Like I said, I think it was only 3 Black people that worked there. So when the white people would ask questions about the Black culture, she was constantly giving them negative information about dark-skinned women, but she wasn't saying it about. And I was like, yeah, you got to stop, because now you're putting that in their head, that stereotype that everybody else thinks about us. You're giving that to them. Or when they see another dark-skinned woman, the first thing they're going to think, oh, well, that's not her real hair. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, or she acts this way, or it's like, you can't do that. It's not right. So yeah, I had an issue. I don't know if I had an issue, but with her in particular, everybody else I didn't have issues with, but I got a lot of questions about me being dark, or just the Black culture, or my hair. Like, was it my real hair, or was I mixed? Like little stuff like that. Where I work at now, I've had almost the same issue. But I don't get it from a lot more so on our end. I get it from everyone else. Mm-hmm. Like I said, if I wear my hair straight, they'll come by my desk or my cubicle and they'll just start wanting to play in my hair. And I'm like, don't touch my hair. And they do this whole thing of, I've never seen a dark skinned person with long hair. Or I never knew that. Yeah. And it's just like, why does it have to be a dark skin thing? Or when I talk, a lot of people at work is like, they get really shocked. And I'm like, why are you looking at me like you're confused? Well, you just speak so well. You enunciate. What do you think I was going to say?
I get that too. I get that too, Mommy.
I don't. That's the one right there that gets under my skin, and I have tough skin. But that's one of those. I'm like, look, I'm not hood, but I will take it there real quick if you come to me like that again. Like, don't do that. That's not me. Like, I've always spoken this way. Like, I've always enunciated my words. I've always spoke proper. My parents did the same. Like, we didn't speak slang in my house. Like, just being honest, like, we just didn't speak it. So, even now, if I say something in slang, people will look at me like, yeah, you don't sound right. Just stop. So I'm like, why does it shock you that I speak well? That's one for me that I don't like.
I got that growing up my entire life. I would have other little Black kids would always say, why are you talking like that? You sound uppity. Why are you talking white?
Or you sound like you white. You want to be white. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I got that my entire life.
Ms. Jack, have you been treated different in the workforce because of your skin tone? Did you feel any favoritism towards other people?
I can't say that I have experienced that in the workforce myself. I think I've been fortunate enough to be in positions where I was in more of a leadership role. So I think that makes a difference when you're in a leadership role. However, within the same jobs, I have heard stories from other people of their experiences with it. Not even so much going as far as having like a diversity group come down to the company to have classes and demonstrations and whatnot to basically go ahead and smooth over the tensions within the workplace. But fortunately enough, I haven't had any direct, negative impact on my life at work at all. No.
Yeah. I have been asked this strange question. It wasn't about skin color. I have been asked before, are these my real teeth? Hell yeah, these my real teeth.
Why would they not be?
Yes, I have been asked that a couple times.
Oh yeah, because you got some good teeth.
Right.
Master gonna like your teeth.
Right.
I get that too.
I was like, now I've gotten people ask me what kind of whitener and stuff do I use, and I'm like, no, these are my natural teeth. Like, I don't do veneers, I don't do the whiteners, but what? I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
And I've been told also, oh, you got some good hair. I got a little gray patch now, but when my hair was dark, oh, you got good hair. I'm sure y'all get that also all the time.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I was concerned when I first started locking my hair. So I've been natural probably like going on 10 years, but I've had my hair locked for the past 3.5 years. Okay. And then, then the Crown Act came out, in certain states. So I was concerned then in regards to, okay, would my hair hinder me from being able to grow and develop professionally? But fortunately, I haven't experienced that. So I'm glad for that. But I do know individuals that I've, befriended in other states who have nearly lost their job just for simply wearing braids to work.
Wow. See, and it's funny. I'm glad you mentioned that because I know when I do like interviews or something, I normally kind of gauge on straightening my hair, which I've always been natural. I've never had a perm, anything since. I've never had one. The most I've ever done is wash, condition, straighten it out. So when I go, like if I have an interview or something, the first thing I want to think of is, okay, let me go ahead and just straighten my hair, because if I wear it in its natural state, I feel like they're going to look at me differently. And it's like, I always feel like I have to do that professional look. Yeah. And so therefore it needs to be straight. But I think my last interview, which just landed me the job that I have now, which is actually a federal position. I definitely didn't have my hair straight. It was just like this. And I think I had it like wrapped around in a ball. And I was like, yeah, if they take me, I'm not straightening this. No, I was like, yeah, no. Cause like, I feel like at that point I get tired of conforming when it comes to like the job interview part. Yeah. That was the one thing I always felt like I was always conforming. I was like, I always feel like I have to look like them or with the straight hair for them to hire me. And it gets like, it's draining. I'm like, I just don't want to do this anymore.
You have to conform to what is considered professionally acceptable in the workplace.
Right. Do y'all think folks scared of y'all in their own way?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah,
Absolutely.
most definitely for sure.
Yeah. I can tell a lot of times, like when they talk to me, you can tell like they're tiptoeing, and it gets under my skin. I'm like, look, yo, like talk to me the same way I'm talking to you. Or a lot of times, like, oh, your personality is just so strong. That's fine,
Oh,
accept it. Now
Yeah.
let's keep it moving. And I always tell people, well, guess what? My personality has been this way since I was little. Anyone that has known me will vouch for that. And guess what? It's not changing. Let's move forward. What are we talking about today? What are we discussing? Don't do the whole tiptoeing thing around me because that's not going to get you anywhere.
I get that too. I have a what people say a strong personality as well. And I've had people come up to me. It'll take them months before they even approach me. Like, no, you seem kind of mean and whatnot. And I'm like, and the thing is, this is how I operate. When I'm at work, I'm about my business. So it's like,
Absolutely.
I don't like to procrastinate. I don't like to do stuff at the last minute.
Right.
So it's like, let me go ahead. Let's handle this business first. Once that's done, then we can hee hee ha ha after the fact. But I'm not going to sit there and play first and then be rushing and scrambling to get stuff done. I don't operate like that.
Right.
Wow. I know my voice is kind of deep naturally. Don't let this microphone fool you. So I have to kind of.
That's okay, Barry.
That's right. You don't want me to sing. You don't want me to sing. But anyway, I'm on the workforce, even out of the workforce. I have to shift my voice a little bit so they won't be intimidated. That's all races, actually. For some reason, I don't know what it is. But I kind of,
which is weird because women we love that deep voice,
right?
You
right,
which is it's so weird to me. But yeah, with you being 6'3", dark skinned and having a deep voice,
I can see how
you're automatically a threat.
Because as soon as I walk in the building, everybody want to talk to me for some reasons. Because sometimes I sit in my car, and right before it's time for me to go in, that's when I go in there because I get attacked. Nothing personal. They just like me for some reason, but that's just what it is. They want me to talk, And I sung to one of the secretary just playing around. We joke around like that. I said, "You don't want me to sing now? I'm gonna give you that Lou Rawls." Yeah, that's old school.
Yes.
Oh, y'all gonna make me do it. You'll never find a love like mine. Someone to love you like I do.
Wait, let me find some panties to throw in the camera.
That's all y'all get. That's it. But it's a shame. Do you think the colorism thing started with your grandparents, or how did they treat y'all moving forward to your parents?
I can't really speak on the grandparent part for me. I've heard of, and I guess it's because I don't like I know my grandparents on my dad's side didn't treat any of us any different. It was all the same. My grandmother was always like that me and my brother were like her favorites or whatever. And both of us are dark, but she's dark as well. So I don't feel like it was ever a difference on that side. Of my mom's side, I can't speak of. But I have heard of stories where people have felt like their grandparents, even their great grandparents that were still living, treated them differently based off the complexion of their skin.
I think for me, it was a little different. So on my dad's side, my granddaddy was real dark, real dark. And my grandma, whom he had married, she was very light skinned. I mean, like very pale complexion. Her eyes changed color, that really silky straight hair. So that was my dad's mom, and then on my mom's side, they're both chocolate. So I can't say that it was ever something that was addressed by my grandparents or my parents. In fact, the first time I ever got called a nigger was by someone who I thought was my friend. I think I was like maybe 8 or 9 years old or whatnot. And I remember running into the house and being hurt and upset and telling my parents about it. And they really didn't say too much about it, and I remember feeling like, because in my mind, I'm like, my dad's going to come out here and, get at you or whatever, that's how I was thinking, but they didn't really say too much about it. So I kind of feel like, I don't know if they just didn't know how to handle that, or, they had just grown accustomed to it growing up in the 70s, but it was never something that was addressed in our household. Now, I grew up watching Roots, like everybody else. So I'm familiar with the history of it, but it was never a discussion, well, this is how you should behave, or this is how you should act, or anything of that in my house.
Wow.
It's funny you say that because in my house, like my parents we never discussed like anything racism wise. We didn't discuss skin complexion. My mom's from the North, first off. So she never experienced racism for her. She said the first time that she ever experienced true racism is when her and my dad ended up, when he got stationed here in Alabama. And she said that that was the first time because they were here and there was a guy on a motorcycle. He had spit at my dad's window as he was driving and he called him a nigger, and my dad tried to chase him down. And my mom, just told him to stop or whatever. And she was just, yeah. And even now, my mom's in her 60s, and there's certain things when it comes to like racism and certain things, she's just like, I've never experienced it. So for her, it is still kind of hard for her to understand certain things. And when it came to my dad, he was from the backwoods of Georgia. So he saw certain things. But he still never really, he didn't tell me and my brother about certain things or how we had to act or how we had to behave. I think for me and him, honestly, it was just a natural thing that we just behaved a certain way on our own. But as we got probably like high school, he shared some stories with us or whatever. And I was just like, oh, but he never really said too much. But my mom, like I said, even now, she brushes so much of it off because she's like, yeah, I wasn't raised that way. I don't understand it. And still trying to talk to her and tell her and explain to her like certain things that are going on. She's still just like, yeah, no, not there.
But another thing that I noticed for me anyway, I can't say that I ever experienced colorism from other Black women. It was more so Black men. So, me being too dark for them, but as far as women go or other females, I can't say that I ever had that experience.
I had it a lot with men. Definitely had it a lot with men. And like I said, I still get the issue now, but I had it with women as well. Like I said, if I got into an argument with a female, the first thing she would want to mention is how I was dark, or especially like in high school. I used to wear my hair braided up. I would wear the same styles that a lot of women are doing now. Naturally, that's what I was doing back in high school. So I would always have the females that would always say something to me or want to pick or joke or whatever. So I got it from both ends, but I definitely feel like I got it, especially now, I get it still a lot heavier with men. So I think it really just depends. I'm like a 50-50 on that.
That's sad. I'll tell you what. If you tired of getting a runaround, come to Jacksonville, Florida. My co-host, his name is T. Smalls. He would love you.
Hey, there you go, Bobby. There you go.
Don't make me blush. Oh my goodness. Yeah. The dating scene for me right now is trash. Like I literally have an episode on I was like, this is trash right now. Like, I'm 32 and it's just not there.
You ain't got to worry about him. No, you ain't got to worry about him. Oh no. You'd be a goddess.
Hey.
Oh my goodness, that is funny. Oh
that is
man.
Funny. Yeah, that is funny. But it's a shame that another race of people, the Indian folks, I just became aware when I watched you guys' show that they go through the same thing also because of the colorism in their community. I didn't know that. Will y'all enlighten on that a little bit?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's worse within their culture, because with them, and I've read books on it as well, with them, it's like the darker complexion you are, the less likely you are to get married.
Right.
So when mothers have little girls and their girls come out, dark skin, they try to do the lightening creams to lighten their daughter's, skin to make her more, marketable to the opposite sex. Because they, it's like if you don't not married by a certain age, then chances are you're going to be an old widow, or old maid rather. And so that's a big thing in Indian culture. And I think when they come to America, we're more accepting of their darker skin as opposed to being in their native country. That's like, marriage chances are, go down.
Very slim.
This was about, off the top of my head, and I'm going to say 25 years ago, I was in Seattle, Washington. It seemed like at that time, this community of women, like light skin, I had to run from them. Seriously. Yes.
Really?
What?
Yes, true story. And jump the fence and get on what I was going at. True story. But they took it serious. They took it serious.
Wow.
You wanted somebody darker complexion. I had to run.
Oh my goodness. Shoot, you was a hot commodity.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to be. Yeah, but I had to run. I remember that night. I had to run.
Wow.
Yes. Yep. They're coming out the woodworks. That is crazy. So how do y'all kids in closing, kind of cope with things? Do they have low self-esteem, or you guys just gave them a good way of, self-esteem, build them up?
Well, my son, I have one of each. My son is 16. My daughter should be 15 in February, and I think neither one of them have a low self-esteem in regards to their skin color. I think my son is just your typical young guy about to enter the dating scene. So he has the typical nerves, in regards to approaching a female, period.
Right.
My daughter, on the other hand, she is so like her self-esteem is like
Good.
way up here.
Good.
I'm the type of person, like I still, fuss about my weight and my appearance and whatnot. And I'll be in here going through like 50 different outfits trying to look cute. And she's like, Mom, you look fine. You're beautiful.
That's my daughter.
So I'm blessed. I am.
That's good. How about you, Ms. Mobby?
About the same with my daughter. I like to say she has confidence of a lion. She's very proud of who she is. She wears her hair in an afro and a heartbeat, doesn't care, puffball, don't care, curly, don't care. She loves being dark. Matter of fact, in the summer, she likes me to take her to the pool, and she sits there and we'll try to get a tan, and I'll be right there, right along with her, because I'm like, look, I'm trying to get darker too, so let's go. So yeah, she has amazing self-esteem, and I can't do anything but thank God for it, to be honest with you.
But believe it or not, I don't see it all the time, but a lot of white men that marry sisters, they want them as dark as they can get them. A lot of them are like that. You'd be surprised.
Well, I have noticed that.
If they marry one, if they can find it, and if it all adds up, that's who they prefer.
Yeah, my second ex-husband was a white guy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
All he dated was black women. That's it. He had never dated a white woman ever. When I got with him, he knew more about weave than I did.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh wow.
I like how you say that the second ex. Can we keep on counting? Number 3, 4, 5, 6.
Look. If I do one more time, that's it.
I got you.
Look, can I at least get to one? Can I at least get to a date somewhere? Like when I tell you, I'm sinking with this dating thing. Like
I got you. Just email me. His name is T Smalls, my co-host. We got you.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you ain't got to worry about it.
Look, and you down South Alabama. He in Florida.
He move.
So, look it up.
Yeah.
Y'all already close.
Yeah, I got you covered. You don't have to worry. Colorism and the dating game at the same time.
That's funny.
Right. I usually end in prayer a little bit.
All right.
We're going to pray for Miss Nat God, Miss Bobby, so they can keep on keeping on with their kids and get past this colorism thing, and let them have a blessed 2022, and let Miss Nat get married for the 3rd time. Lord bless her.
Miss Yak is going to definitely do that.
Miss Mobby 1 time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Thanks for joining me on the Let's Talk Under the Tree podcast. Like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. Y'all gonna be blessed this year. Watch what I tell you.
Amen.
I'm gonna do a follow up. Right.
Amen.
Okay.
Yeah, Troy, you don't have to worry. I'm gonna check on this thing.
All right.
Okay.
Right. Thanks for joining in. I am the weatherman, Miss Yak, Miss Mobby in the house. We appreciate y'all, and thanks for joining in with me.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Right. I try to have a little energy with it. Not boring. Best I can. All right. 1 time for your mind, 2 times for your soul. Weatherman out, Miss Yak out, Miss Mobby out. See you when want to be.
Kingpin Music.